I'm so just blah 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 today. Hello and welcome to Golden Hour Knitwear. I'm Kerry and today is episode number 6. We're gonna try and make today kind of quick because it is super hot in here. I film in my sunroom and today the high is like 90 or something like that, plus all the humidity. And normally when I film, I open the windows in here and it's a little bit better, lets the air in and it's a little cooler. But we found lots of like really big spiders just on the other side of the windows. And so I'm scared to open the windows. I'm kind of scared to be here in general, but it's all good. They're not gonna get me. They're not in the room. They're outside the room, just on the other side of the window. And I didn't see any today, and it rained a lot last night, so maybe the rain washed the spider down the spout. You can tell I'm a mom of a toddler if I'm making references to Itsy Bitsy Spider. Anyway, so today we have a lot. It's been, I think, 3 weeks since the last episode. So I have a lot of finished objects. I've got new cast-ons, got some acquisitions, lots of fun stuff, including dyeing yarn. I've dyed a ton in the last week, just a ton of yarn. And I'm not going to share it all today because it's part of my first ever hand-dyed yarn collection. So I'm hoping to film a video to upload next week, kind of going over all of that yarn. So I won't share that today, but I will hopefully put a video up next week with it all. I'll share some of the hand-dyed yarn, some of the yarn that I've dyed recently, but not all of it. And I'll explain a little bit more of that as we go. So let's start with, oh, it's at the bottom of my pile. Just give me a sec. Okay, I'm not sharing these finished objects in chronological order. And this one's technically not finished because I haven't woven the ends in, but I finished it super late at night and I just couldn't. So I got it blocking and I put it on in the morning. I was like, I don't know if I love it. I'll explain. Okay, and I'm not putting it on because it's wool and it's so flippin' hot in this room. So this is my Miles shirt jacket. I finally finished it. I really love the fit of it. This was the very first yarn that I ever dyed and I didn't quite know what I was doing. I have a much better handle of dyeing yarn now. Like I totally know how to get what I want from my yarn now. Obviously there's always more to learn, but you learn from your mistakes. Anyways, it's not awful. It's just not me. Like, I'm just not a super variegated person. Like, I just don't wear super variegated yarn. So, it's not like it's done badly and I don't hate it or anything. So, it's just not something that I normally would go for. And the neckline, for those of you who know, I'm not going to put this on. I'm just going to. The collar is supposed to sit up, I think, kind of like this, but I think my gauge is the same as the pattern called for. I got the right gauge, but I think actually I should double check that, but I think my gauge might be a little bit looser, like just more open than what the pattern has, what Ozetta got in her sweater. So this kind of just flops down instead of sits nice and tall. So I think I might rip this out, which is another reason why I haven't woven all my ends in yet. I might rip out the kind of collar here and pick up fewer stitches so it sits up a little bit more instead of kind of just flopping down. But that's that. I really do like the fit. It fits really well. I might pop it in a pan with some dark brown and see what dark brown dye and see what happens if I just try to dye it even darker. I think that might help get rid of some of the variegation. Or at least tone it down a bit. I don't know. We'll see. I might not. It's been great because at night it gets a little chilly, especially if I'm knitting in my, I don't know what to call that room. So our house has 4 rooms. The master bedroom for my husband and I, my daughter's bedroom, and then the other 2 bedrooms. I have one that is like my office. I don't call it an office though. So there's the office, which is my husband's office where he works. And then there's my office, which we call the studio, but it's not like an art studio, it's a music studio because that's where all the instruments are because I teach clarinet and piano. I knit in there a lot. I just sit on the floor and knit in there a lot. And that's where I block all my stuff too. So if I have yarn dyeing dyed yarn drying in there, or if I have a blocking thing drying in there, I usually have the fan on and it gets a little chilly. So I just pop this on. I've been popping this on at night, even though the ends aren't woven in and there's a billion ends. It's been nice and cozy to wear at night. So I do enjoy it. I'm glad I have it. And that was exactly kind of the purpose of this, is just to have to wear around the house at night when it's kind of chilly. So that's been great. I do love the fit. The pattern is fantastic. I would love to knit this again in the future with, I think she used Wool Dreamers. I don't remember the actual base. I know that's the brand. I don't remember the base. Oh, I remember the base. I'm not going to try to say it though. So you'll have to look that up. But I would love to knit it in the base that she used originally, Ozetta used in her pattern, in her original sample. I would love to use that someday for this and knit it again. I think I would absolutely love it. So that's that. That's my milestone jacket. All right, so the next finished object is a test knit for Knitonomy. This test knit is over, and I believe the pattern is out now. It's a pillowcase, a cushion cover, whatever you want to call it. I would call it a pillowcase. From part of the Minto collection. She has a sweater in the same stitch, and she is working on a t-shirt / dress in the same stitch pattern, the same cable pattern that you can knit as a t-shirt, or you can knit it long as a dress. I think it's oversized. I think it's drop shoulder and fingering weight for the t-shirt. It's super cute. I would love to knit that one up eventually. But for now, this is the pillowcase. It is all over cables. It's a super cute cable pattern. I don't have a pillow. I don't have it on a pillow right now because it doesn't quite match our house. It could go out here in the sunroom, but it's a very different white than is in the sunroom. And doesn't quite match the beige either. And I'm sorry if you see a whole bunch of dog hair on this pillowcase because the dog loves it out here. And his hair is black. So there's lots of black dog hair out here. But it fits the pillow like a charm. It's super great. I will I will pop up some photos on the screen of this pillowcase on a pillow for you so you can see. Because I'm not going to go through this trouble of putting it on because I want to be done filming so I can get out of the heat and get some knitting time in before my daughter wakes up. But that was an enjoyable knit. And if you're looking for a cute pillowcase for your house that's all cable-y and cozy, especially for the fall, I can see this being a great pillowcase to put in the house during the fall. Just, it's so cozy and just, it's so great. I believe this is a 16-inch by 16-inch pillowcase. She has a 16-inch by 16-inch, an 18 by 18-inch, and then the long skinny one, whatever that is. Is it 12 by 24? I don't remember. That sounds about right though. No. 16 by something? 16 by 24? Long skinny. Anyway, so yes, recommended that pattern if you are looking for a pillow cushion, a pillowcase to put over something. And this pillowcase looks fantastic in like a heathered gray. I wanted to do that, but we didn't have an oven because we were redoing the kitchen, so I couldn't dye my yarn before this test knit would start. But that is okay. I do like it in the white as well. This is just bare yarn from Nomad. This is just undyed worsted weight yarn from Nomad. Okay, my next finished item is this Vortex Sock by Kerry Cogan Brown. It's all nice and blocked. This is using some of my own hand-dyed yarn, like the second time I ever dyed yarn pretty much. So it's just super variegated brown with little bits of gray in there. Not quite speckles. It's a very muted speckle, I guess, especially because they're close in color. But it's just a whole bunch of knits and purls that are alternated, and it looks kind of swirly. I don't know if you can see that with this dark color and after it's blocked, but it's kind of swirly the way the knits and purls go. This was a fun pattern. It worked up super quick because it's just knits and purls. I'm so used to doing cables on my socks because I love cabled socks and lace socks and well, I haven't really done lace socks. I've just kind of sort of done little tiny bits of lace, like eyelets in socks. But this knit up super quick. It was very enjoyable. It was a very nice knit to have on the needles to bring in the car with me, because that's what I do in the car. I pretty much only knit on socks in the car because they're quick and easy to grab, and I don't have to look at the pattern. It's great, and I don't have to have this big massive sweater on my lap or whatever in the car. So I usually knit on socks when we head to the store or whatever. But so this was an enjoyable pattern to knit up. The white is undyed yarn from Nomad. Is bare yarn undyed. What do we want to call that? Bare yarn from Nomad. And then this is just some brown variegated yarn brown and gray. There's little bits of gray in there. You can kind of see it down at the bottom. It's very dark gray. But yes, very enjoyable. This is a fun one. If you're looking for a simple yet textured sock pattern that's just easy to memorize and just go. It's very, very, very nice. Okay, that's all my finished knitted objects. However, I did finish a spinning project, and some dyed yarn. So I think the first one of the first dyes that I did was this yarn. This is worsted weight yarn from Nomad. This is the same base as the pillowcase that I showed you. And look at that green. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. It is so good. It's a nice mossy green color. You can see bits that are darker green, bits that are kind of more brown, bits that are... It's just good. I really love it. I love it, love it. The next two dyes that I'm going to share are just kind of like the leave no dye behind kind of deal. So I dyed a whole bunch, like I said, in the last week. I'm not sharing anything else besides these two minis, but these two minis I just used to sop up some extra dye that was in the pan just to experiment and have some fun. So this one, and this yarn is so soft. Oh, so good. This is also from Nomad. All of my yarn is from Nomad. If it's a bare yarn, it's from Nomad, most likely. So this is, I laid it out and I actually poured some green leftover and some orange leftover, and then green and then orange. But none of the green is really showing through. This light colored stuff isn't showing as green at all. And the green was very, very, very diluted. There was barely any in there. So I'm not surprised that it didn't show up. But I really like the way the orange came through. I guess there's little tiny hints of something kind of sort of green, but I think it's mostly the yellow from the green that's coming through. And so you get like this orange creamsicle basically colorway, though it's not quite that bright of an orange. It's more of a creepy Halloween orange. I don't know, I'm just thinking spooky season, I guess. And it just reminds me of pumpkins and spider webs, I guess. I really love it. And then I speckled some brown over the top, very lightly here and there. So I love this a lot. I love it so much, especially with this green. I think that's so fun. And I think that's perfect for Halloween. So I might dye some sock sets up like this. And I might swap it so that this is the mini and this is the main. I don't quite know yet. I might keep this the mini and this the main, but we will see. And it obviously won't be the same exact as this. I can't replicate this perfectly because it was leftover dye. I don't know how much was in the pot. So, but that was really fun. And then the other one was this. It's not white. I promise it's not white. And I'll show you. This is the bare yarn color versus what I got. So I just used this to sop up some extra blue that was in the pot. And it was a navy blue to begin with, like navy blue and royal blue mixed together, probably with some purple as well, I think, even. And so I got this at the end because it was very diluted, very little dye left in the pot. And I just got this very, very light, again, I'm thinking Halloween, so like spiderweb color almost. It's just super, or ghost color. It's like ghost. It looks like a ghost. I've also been re-listening to Harry Potter, as I do pretty much every year around this time, just because it's back to school and it just gives me the Harry Potter feels for some reason. And so I'm just thinking ghosts because the the ghosts in Harry Potter. Anyway, so those were fun. And they even kind of go together a little bit if you're thinking Halloween themed, so that's kind of fun. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. They're just maybe stripy socks or something like that. Stripy shorty socks. I don't know. We'll see. So those were fun. I am very pleased with how all of these turned out. And I'm very pleased with how all the rest of my yarn dyeing has turned out lately. I'm so excited to share it with you. I've dyed up 8 colorways for a collection, and then I dyed up some sock sets for my sock set subscription membership people for the first order that's going out. Hopefully I can ship it today, if not tomorrow. I just need to label them, stick them in bags, and send them off and print the labels, the shipping labels. But that's been a lot of fun. It's been so fun to have an idea in my head, to have the colors in my head, mix up the dye stock, stick the yarn in, and just watch them be on yarn and just drool over the colors while it's in the pan. And then when the colors are done drying and the yarn is totally done and I skein it up and it's extra gorgeous. I was going to say beautiful and then I said gorgeous, so I said gorgeous. But just watching a color in my head turn into a color on a skein, it's just like, whoa. It's so fun. It's so satisfying. I absolutely love dyeing. I can't wait to share all the rest of my skeins with you, I guess. I also want to knit up some samples, so I'll get busy on those in the next couple weeks, I think. But I'll share my collection, I think, in a week from today. This should go up Friday, which is tomorrow. Today's Thursday. This should go up tomorrow if I have time to edit it, and then hopefully my collection will come out September 1st, which is a week from today. So hopefully you'll be able to see a week from today. And I would love to work on some samples because some of the yarn is a little interesting and fun. So I'm excited to show that. Okay, that's all my dyed yarn that I'm going to share. And then I have a spin project to share with you. I took a little break from spinning. I didn't spin for a while. And I got the itch to start spinning again a couple days ago because I was working really hard on a test knit. I forgot to share, not a test knit, a sample knit. So I did also finish a whole sweater in like 2.5 weeks or less even. I knit up a sample sweater for a hand-dyed yarn company, but not all the colors have been released yet, so I can't share it with you. One of the colors was released, but not the other one, so I can't share it. It was the Care sweater by Rebecca Clow at the Kerry here on YouTube and on Instagram. So I finished that sweater in the last week and a half, and that one was a beast to finish up so quickly because of the color work. So a lot of my attention has been on that. And then, so taking some time to spin was a lot of fun at the end, the last couple days. So I spun a couple days ago and it was very enjoyable, especially because look how fun this color is. And I forgot to get this soaking before this, so this has not been soaked, so I can't take this off the Knitty yet, but look how fun this is. And remember, I'm just using a drop spindle, and I'm very new at this, so my yarn is pretty inconsistent, but it's actually not super inconsistent. This is decent. It's not horrible. So I spun 2 singles and then plied them together. So this is really fun. I'm really happy with this. I have no idea what to do with hand spun yarn because it's in such a little quantity. And I've shared in the past, I do want to knit up the northeasterly blanket with my little bits of hand spun yarn that are in somewhat the same thickness, weight, whatever, into the northeasterly blanket. So I just have a scrappy blanket of all the different hand spuns that I've done. But other than that, I don't really know. I guess I thought about doing like a gray sweater with very colorful stripes just going down part of the body and part of the arms. Just some light stripes. So I thought that'd be fun. I think I only have like 20 yards here or something like that. So it's not a whole lot. But scrappy projects are also fun. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know if you have any ideas. This will probably honestly just go into my northeasterly blanket whenever that gets started, but we will see. We will see. Okay, on to whips. We're already like 20 minutes into this episode and we're on to whips. So let's get through the whips. So first I have, and I don't think you've seen any of these, so that's fun. First I have the April cardigan by Petite Knit. So I bought this yarn at the Great Lakes Fiber Show a couple months ago, and I was going to use it to knit the first sweater. I forget who it's by. Hopefully I put it on the screen. But I decided that I wanted a cardigan, I guess. I really like the April cardigan, and while I love the first sweater, it kind of, like, I was obsessed with it, and I'm not as obsessed with it. It's still gorgeous. I still love it, but I'm excited to just have a very plain but fun colored cardigan to wear with like a white t-shirt and jeans or something. So this is super fun. I started knitting this up. I knit the swatch for it, and I'm just barely past splitting for the arms, but I knit the swatch for it, and I saw how the yarn worked up, and I just died because look at that. I love it. So it's a light red color, pinky red, mostly red, but anyways, it's got yellows and blues and some greens and darker reds spun into it. So it's a heathered yarn, but it's a colorful heathered yarn, and it's so pretty. It's so fun. I love it so much. I'm almost through my first ball skein. Don't you love how when you get almost through a cake of yarn, it just throws up on you, and you have to wind it into a ball, spin it into a ball, roll it into a ball, whatever. Anyway, so this yarn is so fun. It's pretty soft. I'm really enjoying it. It's not like the most soft, wonderful, buttery thing in the world, but it's nice. Like I think I could do this as like next to skin. I'm not super sensitive to stuff like that, but I'm glad this is a cardigan. I think it'll be perfect for a cardigan. I'm so excited. Just look at it. Oh my goodness. So this has been a comfort project for me because it's just stockinette, which is back and forth stockinette, so it has purling. But I don't hate purling. I have no problem with purling at all. It's just the flipping my work that I don't love. Flipping my work, getting my yarn situated, and then going. I like in the round just because you just go and go. But it's enjoyable. I'm having fun with this one. I'm excited to have that one done. Plus, it uses a whole lot yet less yarn than the first sweater does, because the first sweater has like half fisherman's rib or brioche or something all down the arms. And so half fisherman's rib eats up yarn. So this cardigan takes up way less yarn than the first sweater does. So I'm going to use the extra yarn on probably like a beanie for my daughter. I'm gonna test knit for someone, and then probably, what's it called? Something by Jessie Made Designs. It's like it's not a bralette. Is it the Totally Tank? Something like that. Just some woolly bralette type thing, or tank top type thing to wear under sweaters on super, super, super cold days. Just to keep me a little extra warm. Next up we have the Wren Sweater. So this one I'm test knitting. I'm super happy to be test knitting it. And this one is in the yarn that I dyed, the green yarn, and it's so gorgeous. Look at it. Oh, I love it. And I'm not alternating skeins, oops, but I don't think that's a problem at all. When I get almost done with this skein of yarn that I'm on, I'll start alternating a little bit just so that if the two skeins happen to be different, they fade into each other, but they shouldn't be because all of the skeins were dyed in the same pot. That's another benefit of dyeing your own yarn, because I know exactly how it was dyed. And I know that every single skein was in the same exact pot, and I'm not mixing them up at all. They weren't in different pots. There's, unless they were laid out poorly or something, they're not going to be different colors. So I'm really loving this one. This one is it Moss Stitch? Is that what it's called? And so it's in a moss green. So good. I also love this stitch pattern in like a rust color. That's what Kirby, I think is her name, at Macrafts, Kirby McDonald. I don't know how to say her Instagram handle. Macrafts, probably, because McDonald, Macrafts, which is super clever. I love that. But She knit up her sample in a rust-ish red, and I love that color. I need a sweater or a cardigan in something in a rust color so bad. I'm just not there yet. I have so many things lined up. So hopefully decently soon I can get my hands on some rust red yarn and knit myself something in a rust color because, oh, it's so good. But I'm loving this. I've knitted it up. Every time I knit through a couple rows, I lay it out on the ground and I'm like, oh, that's pretty. So I'm so excited for the whole thing. So it's moss stitch down to, I have the whole back panel done. This is not connected to a skein of yarn. So this goes clear down to just below the arms, and then it goes to stockinette all through the body. So this is the back panel. And then I'll do the arm, connect them, do down till the sleeves, and then the rest of everything is stockinette in the round. And then I think it's a split sleeve on the bottom, split hem on the bottom, which is really fun. And then long sleeves, stockinette as well. So I'm very excited for that. I love this design and I love this color. It's gonna be so good. And it's worsted weight yarn, so it's gonna be decently quick. I'm so excited. Next, we have the August honeycomb socks. I've had a lot of second sock syndrome lately, just because there's so many socks I want to knit. I think the problem is that I have sock yarn in stash, so if I want to knit another sock, I can. That's the problem. Anyway, these are the August honeycomb socks. I think I'm remembering that name correctly. But I love this pattern so much. It just makes a little honeycomb. And I love this yarn. I dyed this yarn yellow in a jar. I just shoved a whole bunch of three mini skeins into a jar. And it came out so pretty. Look at it. I love it so much. This one doesn't get quite as much work done on it. I take it in the car with me sometimes, but it's a lot of cables. That's how you make this texture. There's just a lot of cabling going on, which is fine. I don't mind cables. I enjoy doing cables. It's fun to have textured knits every now and then. But I also tend to drop my cable needle in the car a lot, and it falls under the seat, and then I just can't knit anymore in the car. And so yeah. But I've also, like I said earlier, I've been working really hard on that sample knit, which is now done. So we'll see how my socks go. I'll finish them up. By the way, this bag is by Wicked Notions. I love this bag. It's so good. Very nice quality. The print is fantastic. Nice zipper. Yes, I've zipped my yarn in there, but it hasn't been like a tragedy yet. And I still absolutely love this, especially when I can lay it around and my daughter can't. Well, I guess my daughter can unzip it now. She loves to unzip stuff, but she can't get into it as easily as like a tote bag, which she can get into. And she's been obsessed with my cakes of yarn lately. She picks it up and goes, ball, ball, ball. Exactly like that. And so I've had to be a little bit more careful about where I lay my knits because she'll just, you know. But yeah, anyways, that one's been really fun. I'm excited to have those. It's more of a summery color. I know it's wool, but it's a shorty. I'm fine wearing wool socks in the summer. I mean, not right now. It's super hot in my sunroom. I wouldn't wear them in the sunroom, but in the house, it's fine. Because I wear sandals outside. I mostly just wear socks around the house. So, but hopefully I finish those up soon because I want to get into fall colors. So I'm very stuttery today. I should get those finished soon so I can get into fall colors. I also want to knit up. So for those of you who don't know, I started a sock set club. And the first, like I said earlier, the first shipment is going out today or tomorrow. And I want to be able to knit up the socks as I dye them, like those sock sets as I dye them. I want to knit them up so I see how they knit up so I can learn from my dyeing and see what I like, what I don't like, what works and what doesn't work. So I want to have all my socks finished so I can knit up the sock sets as I get them as well. Because I'm dyeing one extra sock set so that I have one as well so I can, like I said, learn how my different techniques are dyeing knitting up. My different dye techniques are knitting up. I am so just blah, blah, blah today. Sorry about that. One more whip, but it's not really a whip yet. It's just a swatch. So if you've been here before, you know that I got this cone from a local yarn store, local to me. Look at that. This is like £1.50 pounds or something, and it was 25 bucks. And it's so nice. It's soft, it's DK weight. There's probably around 1,800 yards on this cone. It's 50% merino, 50% alpaca. And it was milled, it was grown and milled here in Ohio, at least that's what she told me. And I love it. I loved knitting with it. I love my swatch. So I'm really happy with this. And I kind of don't want anybody else near me to find out about these because I want them all. She has black and brown and white. So I think she's been pretty much closed for the summer though. She let me come in the last, like a week ago-ish, 2 weeks ago, so that I could buy another cone, which was really nice of her. So the cones aren't going anywhere soon because she's kind of closed down shops except for on weekends-ish or something like that for now. But anyway, that's beside the point. You're not going to be able to see this because it's so dark. But I was originally going to knit the zipper sweater with this, but I really love the zipper and sweater by Petite knit in black. So I decided to do the Minou cardigan by Luisa, which is, she's also known as Knitting.Deer. Hopefully you can see that. It's super dark. Is this too dark? Do you think this brown too dark for such a textured knit? This cables and half fisherman's rib? I think it's picking up much darker on camera than I can see. I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay in this color. So that sweater, I believe, calls for 1 strand of fingering and 1 strand of mohair, I think. But this is so, like, I feel like alpaca yarn is just so fibery. And so I think this is great. I love the way this is knitted up. And I'm a sucker for brown cardigans with black shirts underneath. So I think this will be perfect for that. I very much love this. I was worried it was going to be too dark to see what's going on, but I think it's perfect. I need to block this. I just finished this morning. It's not blocked yet. I think I got gauged, but again, it's not blocked. And I checked gauge while it was still on the needle, so I have no idea. I did go down a needle size. I knit the Minou top. I test knitted it for her over the summer, which is the same stitch pattern, the same texture, everything, just in a tank top. And I loved that stitch pattern. I loved the tank top. It was so much fun. I'm obsessed with the cardigan. And so I'm excited to knit the cardigan. I think this yarn will be perfect for it if it meets gauge. The tank top that I knit of the Minou cardigan was, I think I should have gone down a needle size for that as well. And I thought it was because the bamboo yarn that I used rayon, 100% rayon yarn. And I thought it just stretched. But after knitting the swatch in merino alpaca yarn, I don't think that was my problem. I think I just am a looser knitter than Luisa. And so I think that's the problem. I think I just needed to go down a needle size because I'm knitting it looser than she did. So for any of you who are wanting to knit this pattern, if you're a relatively loose knitter, you might want to go down a needle size or just knit very tight because half fisherman's rib is hard to get nice and tight. You want to tug on things, especially because it's pearls and knits all over. And so you kind of want to tug to make sure it's nice and even and everything. But I don't want to sit and tug really hard on everything that I'm doing. So I went down a needle size and it's a much more comfortable knitting process for me. Don't change the way you knit, change your tools, right? I hear people say that all the time. And so I just went down a needle size and I think it's working. I love the fabric. I just need to block it. I think it'll plump up a little bit more. It's on the cone and it's on the cone fairly tight. So as I pull it off of the cone, it plumps up a little bit. Especially as I work with it. But I think as I block it, I think it'll plump up a little bit more too, hopefully. But I'm excited for this. There's little bits of white in there, just I think, because of the blends. So this is really fun. It's really pretty. I'm excited. So stay tuned for that. I might cast this on now. I might wait. Like I said, I really want to knit some samples of the yarn that I dyed for my collection. I really want to knit some samples. I have my eye on a few different things. And I have an idea for a stripy, oversized, split hem, boxy, drop shoulder sweater that I want to come up with. That I think would be perfect with the colors that I have in my collection. So I might do that before I do this, just so that I have some samples knit up while the collection is live. But we will see, because this is very fun, especially because I have a lot of just stockinette going on right now. Though this is also a cardigan, and I have another cardigan going on right now. So it'd be nice to have something in the round. So we'll see. We'll see. I might start this. I might not. So whip pending, I guess you could say. Okay, that's all of my works in progresses. Now let's hop into acquisitions. So I count these as acquisitions because this is now in my stash. Berry yarn it's knittable, but it's not the way I want it to be. So I don't count it as in my stash. I mean, it's in my stash, I can use it, but once it's dyed, it's like, that's in my stash, right? So I'm excited to have these and to figure out what to do this, or just add it to my northeasterly blanket once it's started. I already shared those, so I'm not going to talk about those too much. But then I also got another cone, like I said, in black. The same exact cone from the same place as what I just barely showed you in the Minou cardigan. This one's just black. So I'm excited. This one does not have quite as much yarn on it. It's not quite as heavy. Though I should still have enough for the zipper sweater by Petite Knit, as long as they estimated their yardages correctly. The mill, because this one is locally grown and spun and everything. I don't know why, but when it's locally spun and everything, I don't feel as comfortable believing or trusting the yardage there. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm scared that they overestimated how much yardage there is. But it's not a huge problem. I don't think this is dyed at all. I think this is just the natural color. Yeah, no, I remember. These are the natural colors. So if there's not enough here, I can just go spend $25 to get another cone, and it's still cheaper than half of the zipper sweaters out there that people spend 30 bucks a skein on. Not that that's a problem, it's just, isn't that amazing? That 25 bucks for a whole sweater quantity of yarn? Of merino and alpaca? So excited about it. So that's that. I'm excited to start the zipper sweater. I don't know exactly when, though it would be very nice because it's just in the round. Though it's black, I know black is harder to see. I was struggling with the Minou cardigan swatch last night because it was kind of dark when I was knitting on that, when I started it. I couldn't see super well. So we'll see how the black goes. But it'll just be stockinette, so it'll be nice to have something just stockinette in the round to work on with everything else that I've got going on. All the cardigans, I mean, and the textured knits. And then the last, I participated in the Summer Tea Mal 2023, or Summer Tea Mal 23. So the Summer Tea Knit Along by Purl Backward Knit Forward. Did I get that right? Purl Back Knit Forward, yes. That she put on over the summer, and I won the sweater quantity, and I was like, so excited because I've never won anything. Not really. I don't think I've really won anything. So I won a sweater quantity of yarn from Thistle House Yarn. Here's her logo. This is the colorway Leto. It's DK weight. And I guess I love green. I know I love green. And I love wearing green. I feel like green is a good color on me, I guess. I don't know. Especially a mossy olive green with the brown undertones. This one's all right. Anyway, I got 4 skeins of this, and I'm going to knit the Ducot sweater in this one. I'm very excited for that. I think that'll be perfect over like dresses or skirts, though I don't wear a lot of dresses or skirts, or over high-waisted jeans. So this will be really great. I love that sweater. I'm so excited to knit that one. It looks great. That one will be fun. I think it'll be a decently quick knit too, because it's mostly stockinette and it's pretty cropped and not super oversized. So, and this is pretty soft. This is nice. Nice colors. So go give Thistle House Yarn a look because they've got some nice colors and they deserve the love. Nice and soft. I'm excited to work with this. It's very pretty. But yes. Okay, I guess I'll quickly share my other acquisitions. I just got some more light bulb stitch markers because you can never have too many of those. And I was wanting more. And then I got just this cotton tote bag from Michaels. It was $1.99. I didn't know they had tote bags for that cheap. So I got this tote bag and it's nice and big. I love using totes for sweaters. And so having more totes is so nice. I might go get more. And so my plan with this, because bare totes are fun, but I found a way to make it extra fun. I could embroider, I could sew, I could paint, I could dye, I could cross stitch, I could do whatever, but I think I want to so I found a tutorial online of somebody who, and I'm going to say it wrong, alum powder or alum powder? Anyway, they washed the tote bag in that powder and then they lay it out on the ground. They put wax paper like in between the two sides and they got flowers from around. They just got a bunch of flowers. They put them face down on the tote bag. They covered it up and they beat it with a hammer. And then all of the dye or the color, the pigment from the flowers went into the tote bag. And so they had like a pressed flower, natural dyed flower bouquet looking thing on the front of their tote bag. And I thought that would be so much fun. And I really want to do it. So that's the plan to do with this. And so now anytime we go on family walks, which we love to do, anytime we go on family walks or just driving around town or whatever, and I see flowers, just wild flowers on the side of the road, I'm like taking mental note because I'm gonna go get those flowers so that I can use them on this tote bag. And I have an idea of what I want to do. I don't think I want to do quite just a bouquet. Like I don't want to just big flower, little, like I don't want to just do a bouquet. I want to do something a little bit more unique. So I'm excited to give that a shot. I'm scared. I'm not quite ready to do it because I've got lots of other things going on right now. So it might be a product for the spring because I'm worried that the flowers are going to start disappearing soon. But I mean, I could always go to a flower shop near me or just go buy a $5 flower bouquet from Walmart or go to a flower shop near me and ask me if they have any extra flowers that weren't pretty enough to go in the bouquet or whatever that are just going to get thrown away and ask if those are available or anything like that. But I'm excited to give that a shot because that'll be a lot of fun. And that's very much my style, I think, is floral things, but also, I don't know. I don't know what my style is, but it'll be fun. I'm excited to have that. I'm tempted to go get more totes because $1.99 for a tote of that size. And I think the fabric is pretty thin, but I don't think it's not horrible. I think it's pretty decently structured. Perfectly sturdy for a sweater quantity of yarn and some knitting needles. Perfectly fine. I also saw Michaels has a bunch of tote bags with pockets that are also super cheap. Not Michaels, Hobby Lobby. So I might go have some fun there too. Because the pockets are nice to have for your notions, your scissors, all that stuff. So that's fun. Anyway, I think that is all for today. That was a lot to share. I think we got through it decently quick, at least by my standards, because I can ramble. I still rambled today, and I'm rambling right now, but you get the point. Just trying to think. I think, yeah, that's all. I will hopefully have a video for you next week on, and I know I say that every week. Every time I post a video, I'll have a video next week, and it never happens. I'm sorry for that. I can't commit to every week. I thought I could, but I can't do that to myself. Just because then it'll feel like a chore, and I just want to have fun with this. Like I said at the very first episode, golden hour knitwear. Because golden hour is something that I absolutely love. Knitting is something that I absolutely love, and I don't want this to become something that feels icky and not enjoyable. So I'm not gonna force anything. But I am so excited to share the yarn that I've dyed up. So I'm excited to film a video explaining all of the colors, showing all the colors together, and potentially having some sample knits to show, not full on sweaters in a week, no, but swatches and things like that, hopefully to show for next week, and hopefully I can post that next week. So look for that. It might come, it should come. I really want there to be a video, but we'll see. At least take a look at, go follow me on Instagram if you want to stay updated on everything, because I update Instagram much more than I update here. So keep an eye on my Instagram at goldenhour.knitwear if you want to keep an eye on all that dyed yarn, because that will for sure be going on Instagram. Look for that. So I will hopefully see you next week. I am excited to work on all these projects. I am in love with all of these projects and all of these yarns. So I'm in a very happy knitty place right now, and I hope you all are in a very happy knitty place too. Let me know what you're working on in the comments. Let me know what you think of all these yarns and projects and things. Yeah. I will see you next week, and if not, then I will see you 2 weeks from now with another episode. But until then, bye, and thanks for watching.